Yep.
We're going. Hello, 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 everybody. Meredith, should we share the video about the upcoming retreat? Like
Yeah.
30
Let's start
seconds?
there.
All right, let's start with that. All right, let's see.
Have you claimed 2020 as your year of growth, prosperity, and just overall winning? Well, you can call me your little angel sent to ensure you meet your annual goals. The Vision 2020 conference will equip you with the personal and professional development you need to propel you to the next level. How? Well, we're going to use scriptures and prolific speakers to help you reach your overflow. Join me February 20th through 22nd at Baha Mar. Register online at vision242.eventbrite.com.
Yay! That's our little promo.
I'm excited about it.
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, 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 everybody, to today's edition of Office Hours.
Office hours.
Yes, we are here. We are ready to be of service to you. And as you saw in our promotional materials, today's conversation is all around finance. For some of us, we love it. For others, not so much. And I think we got a yin and yang over here. I think Meredith is definitely the go-to source around finances, and
Oh,
can really help you, especially if you're in on the personal side of it. I can definitely add to the conversation around business and making sure that you are setting financial projections and going back and making sure that you've met those projections. Um, Last week we spoke about estate planning. We had a great guest speaker. Oh, I see you burning
mm-hmm.
up over there. You okay? You on
I
fire?
know. I know my sage. I
Are you
told you.
smoking?
Yeah, you start talking about finances. Don't clear the air.
But that's important. That's real. I think a lot of times
Yes.
people don't understand that when you have to go into a space that sometimes is not always comfortable, sometimes you have to set the tone, you have to set the mood to allow yourself to just be like, okay, it is
I
what
have
it
high
is.
anxiety. Yes. Whew.
Let's go.
All my
So,
high anxiety people.
what are some of the things that you do to reduce anxiety, Meredith?
I love that you asked me that because I feel like a part of having anxiety is feeling like I'm not managing it well. But anxiety for me shows up in just like today, it felt like my heart was going to like explode. Like it
Why?
was I just get these panics. I mean, it's really I can't describe it other than it's just a panic attack. It's an idea that my mentor Valerie Burton calls it catastrophizing. Of like the example she used that helped me kind of self-diagnose myself was your kid just turned 16.
Mhm.
Curfew is 11 o'clock. It's 11:05. What happened? And people in the audience, Angel, okay, so you know me. So people in the audience are all like, oh, they had an accident. Oh, there was somebody, she couldn't get a ride. Oh, she got lost. Oh, some boys messing with her. And she was like, yes, that's all normal. Now, if, if you thought that they rolled over 3 times in a ditch and the, the ambulance got hit on the way there, and this was the last phone call they could make and they couldn't make it, then you have high anxiety. And I was like, oh, girl, that's me. That's so me. So for me, what really helps is first of all, just acknowledging that. Like I work a lot with my clients on just acknowledging that we all deal with negative thoughts. Like we all deal with imposter syndromes, things that say, you shouldn't be doing this. You're not qualified. You're not ready. You need more time. And of course, if time was limitless, we would all take more time. But that's the difference between people who do and people who don't. And so anxiety for me shows up actually as procrastination. I'll come up and distract myself with other things to do. So the best thing that I've really learned to do to be productive and overcome that anxiety, again, first of all, just acknowledging it. Two, working with people who I'm really comfortable with. So I look forward to, like this, I would not be doing this every week. But I look forward to, right? So I have really been intentional in making things in my life that I look forward to,
Yeah.
really finding that like positive psychology. And then the third one is I do have a number of rituals. Like I have a morning routine. I have things like I light sage. I do things that help me feel confident that I've prepared myself and my spirit to be challenged and to do something difficult. So I just acknowledged, like, this is going to be hard. So we're going to light some sage and we're going to make our way through it.
Now, so we haven't had any questions as of yet, but
We had hearts. I got heart.
Yeah, we got hearts. We got hearts. We always got a little love out there. So I also have my own sage. I'm not currently burning it. But Meredith, talk to us a little bit about the benefits of sage and why people often use sage as kind of like a cleanser.
I don't know.
Okay, well, fine. So what I've been told is that, sage kind of clears the air. It allows you to relax. This one's over here just dying, just cracking her side. It allows you to kind of like clear the air and kind of relaxes you and removes any negative energy kind of out of your space. So if you ever let's say there's been like a horrible argument like in your house and some things kind of like went down. A lot of people will say, okay, well, burn some sage, get that negative energy out so that you can kind of be at ease and have a moment to really kind of process and just do away with all that negativity.
Yeah.
The other thing that Meredith and I both are like into are like stones. Yeah. Some people know the power of like different stones, but I love stones. Like turquoise, I wear like a big turquoise necklace from time to time. Amethyst is my birthstone, and I keep amethyst around. So different stones also bring about like a calming when you have to deal with certain situations. So definitely look into it, check it out. Like, we're not like weird or anything, but it is one of those things that tends to help you just kind of reduce your anxiety and especially when it comes time for taxes. As we're entering tax season. Actually, it is tax season.
When is it not tax season?
I know, right? Especially if you're listening, like you're always on it. All right, so Meredith.
Yes.
I love how last episode, you really had like a great little diagram to talk about like what we were going to be discussing. And today we are going to be talking finances. So what do you have for us today?
First of all, thank you for acknowledging my gifts and my efforts. I have been teaching on basically cardstock paper since I was in first grade. So this is a lifelong dream right now. And I'd also like to say, for those that did watch last week, which Angela, I can't see who is on, but my friend Angela said she was watching at work. So we're not going to tell your boss. I'm not going to say where you work. But she said it was quite convenient to put it on and listen. And if you are thinking of making a change, office hours, that's really what we wanted to do here, was to be able to give you the tools so that you can take action. So yes, I'm super excited. We said that we were going to call this Mo Money, Mo Problems. Right, Angel?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what I wanted to do was talk about why everybody should care about making more money, why it's worth overcoming the anxiety and doing it. My own little 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, like 2 minutes. And then why, like, what are the things that you actually need to pay attention to if you're not like full on into this? Where is just the place to start? Okay. Because more money, more problems. So,
but it doesn't have to be. And I think that was our thing. Like, just because you have more money, like if you're managing your money right,
you have different problems, right? Like now I might not have the issue of paying rent, but now I might not know what tax bracket I'm in. I don't, it's tough. Okay. That's the thing about finance. It's like there's very few things in life that you get more of it and it requires more of you.
Yeah.
Fair? Like there's this misconception. Let's just start there, right? So, when we left Howard, like I was all communications. Oh, I was like working at Verizon. I'm all going to be in this. And then that didn't work out. And I ended up in finance with people who had been thinking like I had been about doing cardstock things. They've been thinking about finance like this, and I didn't recognize that. So it was highly competitive. And what I discovered was that, my fear of talking about money, my fear of even thinking about how much money I wanted to make, talking to people about how much money they were making for the jobs that they were in or the cities they were living in, was keeping me from making money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were making money because they had this information. So then when people asked them, well, what do you want in your next job? They were like, well, I want 75,000. I want to live in Connecticut and I want to have at least 6 weeks of vacation. I was just like, what are you offering?
Right. Right.
Right. And so then they're going to start at the bottom, right? And I was maybe thinking like, oh, if they offer me like 40, I'm going to go back and say like 42. Like, I didn't even know how to do research, let alone have girlfriends that are like, hey, you should be making more money. Because when you're first out of school or when you've made a career shift,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know necessarily
So
how
let me stop you there. So
your skills with your clients.
well, no, I was gonna say, you know, I know we haven't got completely to our point, but I think that negotiating skills is also a part of your finances because that's how you determine how much money you're going to be generating. So, what are
Yeah.
some key things that we should be doing to ensure that we are going after what we're worth? Because a lot of times we're not. We, like you just gave the example, we're just putting ourselves out there and just kind of like, well, what are you willing to give me? Like,
Right.
and
Yeah.
then going from there, and then you're only going like little small increments to
Yeah.
really like negotiate. So what
Yeah.
what are 3 things that we should be doing?
So the first one is this: you have to get comfortable talking about money. Money has to be something that just becomes a part of what you're comfortable discussing, right? And paying attention to. The other thing is you have to do real research. When you're talking to people, you can't just be asking random questions. You have to really understand, so you're at a similar company. What's your average salary increase that employees are getting? People know this information and it can help you engaging what makes sense for you. And the third one is, honestly, Angel, you just have to practice.
Yeah.
Like, the people who are the best negotiators don't just do it when their salary comes up. I mean, not to put anybody on blast, but you might be the best negotiator I know. Like, you negotiate
Everything.
I've never been with you and there was something that somebody just gave it to you and you were like, I'll take it. You're always like, which I find like mind-boggling. I'm like, oh, thank you. Oh, do we get what when we went to lunch in what was that, DC? I'm like, oh, is there a seat? That's great. She's like, no, I want that seat. That's negotiating. It's confidence.
You are hilarious, Meredith.
It is. But I mean, the whole thing does go back to more money, more problems, because the more money you have, the more you're going to find yourself negotiating.
Yeah.
Right? It just is. Fair? Like, has that been your experience?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just knowing what you want is key. Like, if you know what you want, then you're able to go after it. If you don't know what you want, then I think puts you in this
That's another
bracket.
show. Right.
Yeah, it puts you in this bracket of like, oh, I'm just going to take whatever's given to me. No. We're not doing that anymore. I need everybody to know what it is that you want. If you know what you want, then you can create a strategy to get what you want. Mm-hmm. Don't just accept like, oh yeah, this is like Meredith said. I'm gonna put you at this table where the lights flickering and the table's wobbly. No, sir. No, you're not. That's not. You're not putting me there.
I don't believe those are the conditions, but yeah.
I'm just saying. But like you have to know what's acceptable to you.
Yes.
If you allow people to just give you whatever, give you scraps, that's what you're going to get. When you remember and demand what you're worth, then people will start to treat you accordingly.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And can I add to that research says that women do better when we're negotiating for others. We don't do well negotiating for ourselves, right? Yeah. Like, I know that's been my experience. My whole business is built around advocating for women of color to really do this at work. Like, make this commitment to yourself that you're going to be happy and you're going to be paid for your worth. Right. So I think it's important, Angel, that notion of confidence. You just have to believe in yourself. Like, true or false?
No. Now you know.
I know you're the confidence queen.
That is the premise of any successful beginning. If you don't believe in yourself, who else is going to believe in you? And even in my book, Side Hustle and Main Hustle, and your book as well, We have a whole chapter on just belief.
Mhm.
Um, because that is really what sets the tone for how other people are going to treat you. If
Yeah.
you don't know, like, okay, like, I got this, I can do this, even if you have cheerleaders, sometimes you're not going to have cheerleaders in your ear. You're going to just have to get out there and say, okay, this is what I have to do, and I'm going to have to fight my way through it because this is what I want and I demand to have it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just kind of like, okay. And you get what, like I said, what's given to you.
Yeah.
But in planning, you
Mhm.
have to also plan your financials. I know
Mm.
so many people who have a bad relationship with money.
Yes.
And I feel like if you can't have a good relationship with money, how can you have a relationship with anybody and anything?
Talk
Because
about it.
we often are, if you don't have a good relationship with money, you hide from your accounts. And when I say you hide from
Mhm.
your accounts, I'm speaking from experience, like,
We all been
just
there.
putting
Yes.
it out there. Like where like, okay,
Mhm.
I don't know how
That
much
you need
money
to
in this
change that
account.
password, right?
I don't know how much money in this account. But I'm gonna swipe my little ATM card
You be
and
praying.
pray.
I be praying sometimes, right? I hope, right? Let me take some out this card, just in
I'm
case.
gonna pray some money up in there and this is gonna go through. You can't do that.
Jesus. Yes.
Especially as you get older. You have to
Woof.
know what your money is looking like. You have to know how much money is in
Yes.
your account. Most financial advisors tell you every day you need to go into that account and see what is happening. You can't just assume, oh, well, I got paid on Friday, so I kind of have an idea how much money is in my account. No, no, no. You need
No.
to know and really track it. Um, Once you develop good money habits, then it makes it easier. Like Meredith said earlier, it's all about putting it into practice. You can't just say, okay, I got a job or I have a business. Even worse if you have a business and you have
Yes.
no idea of your money management. Are you
Yeah.
submitting your invoices to your clients? Are they
Mm.
paying you? If you can't answer, when was the last time you received payment for an invoice that went out and you can't even confirm whether or not the invoice went out? Baby,
Oh,
you're doing some
jeez.
things wrong. You need to
Woo.
dial it back and make sure that you're taking the time to not just be a business owner, but you also
Mhm.
have to be the CEO.
Yeah.
And being a CEO is very different than just saying, oh, I have a business.
Mhm. Yeah. You have to be accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, so I think a big part of that, right, is having a team that makes it fun and really not overwhelming yourself, which I think even for me when I first started, it was like, oh, I need all of these things. I need all of these different, and really less is more everywhere in your business, right? So, one of the things that I would say is that you have to know your numbers. Like this was one of the first lessons I learned in finance was you can't win the game if we don't even know what the rules are.
Right?
And I was always really surprised. It was one of the reasons I stayed in finance longer than I wanted to because a lot of women didn't know this stuff. So, profit and loss, just so we all start at the same place. So, profit is revenue that you're generating, sales, money coming into your business. To your point, Angel, it's money that you've received into your business.
Mm-hmm.
Not just like hypothetical, like when I started, I was like, I'm gonna make $1 million. And then I never called anybody. So I didn't make that $1 million. So that wouldn't count as my revenue.
Right.
So then the other one are you have to know your expenses. You have to know what's going out the door. Like you always see these people who are like, I'm going to invest in Instagram ads. Okay, well, there has to be money to come in to go out. So I like to remember this because I feel like my same hobby versus job, or what was it, hobby versus business
Mm-hmm.
person, difference between a hobby and a business, right? In a business, nothing starts until you make a sale.
Right.
Okay. Everything up until then is just you investing in a hobby. It's
Office
not you
hours. Yes.
actually like producing yet. So the numbers you want to know are those two at the minimum. And if you are not a business owner, you need to know your full, in corporate America, they often call it your full salary, your all in. You have to know your stock. You have to know if you have deferred compensation. You have to know if you can cash out your vacation if you leave early. You have to know if there's a match to a certain point at your 401k that you need to meet to unlock it. You need to know if your favorite university if Howard is on the list of schools that you can do a matching grant to? There's so much wealth. So even if you have a salary, still look at it like your profit.
Mhm.
And if you have a salary, you can still look at it to say, if I'm making 50 and I want to make 75, well, that, Angel, you're your business expert. Great goal for your business then.
Mhm.
Try set up a business with a revenue goal of 25,000.
Right.
How am I tracking with you so far? Make sense?
Yeah, no, I'm rolling with you. You know,
Okay.
I hate this stuff. Sorry, but I
Do
do.
you have your beverage? Yeah,
Yeah, I have wine at 2:20, y'all. But
that's okay.
you know, I gotta make it through this conversation. This is
What?
my
I,
anxiety reducer.
but am I not making it
No, it's
pleasant
totally easy. Like, I mean, it sounds so much easier
when I
than
say it?
for people like me who I think have like adversities to really dealing with the money. Um, yeah, it's not rocket science. It's just, do I really want to sit here and count my pennies? No. And
Yeah.
granted, and this is, and I want to be very clear, having a good relationship with money does not mean that you're not making money.
Yes.
I think it's a
It's
very
true.
different
Yeah.
conversation. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there are a number of people who I know who make amazing money, and I'm going to speak from the business perspective. If you just hand off your business to somebody else, whether it's a bookkeeper, a CPA, and you're just saying, hey, I'm just handing this off to you because I don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
you're making money, but you're not managing your money. So you have no idea if this person is stealing money. You have no idea if they're paying your taxes on time. You have no idea if they're handling your money in the way in which you would want it handled. So, again, I just want to be very clear. Having a bad relationship with money does not mean that you are
Yeah.
not making money.
Mm-hmm.
It just means that you just don't like dealing with it. So you opt to push it off on somebody else, whether it's your husband, your spouse, or whatever. And I know I even did that in my marriage. Like, I made the money, and you know, I was hands off. But when you're not actively involved, it can come back to bite you. So part of why we're having this conversation is to make sure that you are conscious of
Mm-hmm.
how you are handling your money and different things that you should be doing to ensure that you are successful and not only building generational wealth, but just being more comfortable, even if it's, like I said, just starting off day by day, monitoring your accounts, checking through your credit card statements to make sure that you're not overcharged for things. That happens a lot. Making sure that you're getting refunds where you're supposed to get refunds. Like all of those little nuances that can really add up. Are you smiling at me? Are you
I
proud of me,
know you're gonna make
Meredith?
me crack up because it's just so funny because so this is the thing, right? So I don't I would like to say I have a good relationship with money. I've learned to have a better relationship with money,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what takes me so I don't know if that's the Minnesota nice, but I'm always like, "Oh, it's just they just forgot. They'll give it back to me." Like I'm so passive. So I do think, I think for so many of us, something happened that made you decide I'm not going to be afraid of this because it's not worth the consequence of ignoring my money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once you realize and you get the confidence and you believe in yourself that you can really make money, then you're a little bit more motivated. And even for me, it was like, I don't want to have to make so much money because it's going out the door for no reason. Like, I want to have that. So I think it's a total thing. And I think, the best thing that I know I've done for it is it's even on my vision board. Like, I wanted to surround myself with other Black women entrepreneurs that I could talk to about revenue goals because it was kind of weird randomly talking to people about that.
Now we are, let's see, this is like our sixth show.
Oh, is it six? I thought it was four.
Girl, no, we're past four. One of
Oh.
them I wasn't here for, maybe five. But I think that, it's important that we're able to just highlight that this entire conversation is all around engagement and we want to hear from you. And we actually just got our first question that just came in.
Ooh.
So let's see. This is from Disha. And it says, should you manage your money even if you have someone doing it? If so, what basic principles should we apply when managing if that's not our area of expertise? Meredith, you want to start or you want me to start? Go ahead, you start. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I was going to say yes. First of all, thanks for tuning in. Hey, girl. But yes, you should still be looking at your money, and you want to have done some research before you hire somebody and be really clear and have a contract that outlines what are the scope of services so you understand what you still need to do. So a part of what you're going to be managing is what information you're providing this person and being really clear about what you're asking them to do.
Mhm.
So to Angel's example before about like, is it somebody who's going to be filing taxes? Is it somebody who's going to be invoicing clients? And really thinking to yourself, are these things that I really trust somebody to do? And is it really something that you just can't do yourself just to even save money? I would say the two things that you want to be paying attention to overall, again, you want to be watching your sales. You want to know what is your most profitable product? Where do you make the most money? Because you, as the chief salesperson for your company, you need to know what you're selling here. You don't want to be selling a product where you're losing money. Keep in mind the person managing your money doesn't really care about sales, right? They're going to get paid either way. So you want to make sure that you're getting that information from them. The other number that I would be looking to them to help you with is how can you optimize your losses? How can you minimize your losses? How can they see improvements that you could be making, often in like late fees? Maybe you need a different credit card, but lean into their expertise on those financial nuances where you could be investing excess or tax enhancements. That's what I like to call them. But Angel, what are your tips?
No, so I would also make sure you're cognizant of the access that you're giving them. What platform are you going to be using? So a lot of people use QuickBooks, right? And so you can kind of monitor how much access they have. Are you actually getting hard copy checks that you're depending on them to deposit into your account? For me, I would make it where they have less access to the cash and more so just the management of the transactions. So making sure that the invoicing is going out in a timely fashion, making sure that they're following up and making, the payments are being made in a timely fashion. And then so if those things are happening, then you just kind of have to oversee it. So taking the time to just like log in and see, okay, I see that, this was sent out on XYZ date. This is when this is due into my account. And maybe it's just you going to your account and cross-checking, okay, this was actually crossed off on this bank sheet. And so everything looks like it's in a checks and balance space. Making sure that everything is routed to the right account. Like for me, I know in having multiple businesses, some of my businesses have 2 and 3 accounts. So making sure that everything is going where it's supposed to be going and there's no extra account that I don't know nothing about, that it's like, being routed to. So little things like that just to make sure that it's less hands-on for you in the transaction part of it and just making sure that you're interacting with your clients, but more so just that oversight. When you don't have that oversight, it just leaves room for things to happen. And I have tons of stories where women business owners have just been very hands-off and unfortunate situations have happened. I remember one story of this lady who was on our Women in Government Contracting panel talked about one of her client, well, it wasn't her client, but it was one of her employees who was also a family member.
Oh, geez.
Who was embezzling money.
Oh, no.
And then she had to go to a number of her government contracts, which were like they had security clearances and all this kind of stuff. So now you have to go to all of your clients, reveal all of this information.
Jeez.
And this could literally destroy your business.
Yeah.
So You just have to make sure that you are protecting your business, protecting your assets, and also protecting your clients. Because it's at the end of the day, it's your name that's associated with that business,
Yeah.
especially as a small business owner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're accountable.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
these are things my dad, when he transitioned the business over, that was the first thing he said was like, now you can go to jail for this. So, I mean, that's a real thing. Is like, I think sometimes, even for me, right when I was first starting, it was like, somebody should tell me that I have to do my taxes. They should have reminded me more.
Mhm.
No, boo. They put the one statement on the Minnesota, on your state registry, which I think not of a lot of us use that information enough, to your point, even to check out contractors and accountants that might be on a list in a Better Business Bureau.
Right.
I mean, like, research the people. Really, I'd like to use people who not only have referrals, but I think really highly of the person who is referring them. So I usually ask like a mentor or a sponsor for something like that, because I want somebody who's going to manage my money to the next level, not keep me where I'm at. Like, I can do this.
Right.
You're supposed to be doing something to
Different.
enhance
Right.
my wealth, right?
Right.
So like, I even talked to them about that. Like, no, this is my wealth. We're not talking about my money. This is my wealth we're talking about.
Right.
So yeah,
So
I love that question.
Yes, no, that was a wonderful, wonderful question. And if you have a question that you would like to ask, and Disha, even if you have another question, we would love to answer your questions. That's why we are here. And just to give a little background information on our expertise and our experiences, Meredith, if you want to share a little bit about who you are and your book, Getting Unstuck.
Sure. I'm Meredith Crosby. I'm the author of Getting Unstuck, A Guide to Moving Your
It's
Career
all blurred
Forward.
out. You got to put it in front of your face.
Did it show up then?
Nope, still blurry, but it's okay. That's what happens when you're trying to be cute and fancy with your technique.
Oh, is it like that now? Well, you can see the theme of getting unstuck. It's really a story of my own career journey, getting unstuck from careers that didn't fit, that were underpaying me, that I didn't feel like I was recognized and able to advocate the way I wanted to. And so I created a system. And my background in finance is that is where my career started, was training to be a stockbroker. I went on to learn about variable annuities, and really the hardest parts of finance are what I wanted to learn: mutual funds, trading, all of that. And then I realized that culture was not the right culture for me. So I help high performing women who want to feel confident negotiating their worth, because it does start with your own confidence and your own clarity around your vision. So I am not giving financial advice. I did not pass my Series 7. That is actually one of the reasons that I knew I did not want to be in finance, because I studied my off for that test. Like, that's a whole nother story. So, Angel, what's your background?
Wait. I just have to also
it?
throw out there that Meredith will be one of our speakers at Vision 2020. So you will actually get to get up close and personal with her and hear her story firsthand. So
Up close.
Yes.
But I do want to say, though, as a plug into the financial piece, now that, because I do believe this is one of your gifts, Angel. So, I mean, I think I just want to talk to that for a second. You have a real gift with helping people identify what is unique about them. And for me, even in my getting hired at McDonald's as a corporate speechwriter, it was my financial experience and my comfort in talking about finances that made me stand out. And it's something that you always point out. So I just wanted to shout you out for that, sister, and uplifting your people.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I'm going to start telling more people about that. Yeah, because I care about money. Not everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you know me better than anybody. I get passionate about people making money.
Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah, that's true. You do. You get hype. You get hype. That's different. You get hype. Tell us, Angel, what's your background with money?
My background in money, I told y'all, I don't really like. I didn't always have a great relationship with money. I think that oftentimes there are experiences that you have, whether in childhood, high school, college, whatever, that kind of makes you operate a particular way when it comes to money. But I love to make money.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you better get to the point. You better not shame the devil. You better tell the truth.
But this is why I say, like, that's why I say you can have a bad relationship with money, but it doesn't mean that you're not making money.
Which one of us had a car in college?
I did.
Yes, you do a good job. What do you need in order for a car to work?
Gas.
Yes, that's why my dad said I couldn't have a car. He was like, "'Cause you ain't got no gas money. How you gonna make money?" But see, you just have a very entrepreneurial. You always had gas in your car. That was never a thing. You was never like, I'm gonna need $10 to go around the corner. You was like, girl, I got this. Mm-mm.
You were
That's another
hilarious.
episode, baby.
Lord. But so I am as Meredith said, I've always kind of had a business. I've always had a side business. I have always worked in media since Howard. Worked in radio. I've worked in TV and radio for the last 20 years. So that is really like my passion area, is just really connecting people, helping to tell the story. I always say at the end of the day, I'm a storyteller at heart. So helping you engage with your target audience by way of creating a compelling story. But outside of that, I don't know, I just love connecting people, which is how me and friends started kind of coming up with different branding names for me. But I've authored 2 books. Side Hustle to Main Hustle is my second book, and it's all about helping women transition into full-time entrepreneurship. There are a number of people, just bringing it back full circle into the financial part. There are a number of people who are so afraid to go out on their own in business because they are worried about not making it. And you're starting off with the wrong mindset if you're already thinking that. And there are a number of people who are just afraid that financially we are in bondage to working for somebody and collecting that paycheck. And so one of the things that I really believe in is you have to believe in you. As long as you can believe that, okay, I have something that's of value to people, that I'm helping them live their best life. So you're making their life easier, you're changing the conversation, or you're doing something different for them, then you can win. You can create a business around that. If you can come up with like how you're going to strategize that, how you're going to execute it, then baby, you can win. And especially if you're doing it on the side, just imagine what could happen if you put more time and energy into it, what can really manifest. So that's kind of like my thing. And both Meredith and myself, we both have programs that can help you. I feel like, you know, as you guys can tell, Meredith and I have very different personalities.
What?
Hold on.
We do. There's nothing wrong with it. But Meredith is definitely the more...
Yeah, how do you describe me?
You're more structured. You're more...
Oh, yes, let's describe each other. Yes, okay.
Meredith is more structured. She's more in the sense of like, okay, how am I going to get you from point A to point B? But there's like a clear-cut structure to it, right? There's a pathway to it. Whereas, well, I'll let Meredith describe me. But I think that with Meredith's program, you will be able to learn how to implement different systems into your lifestyle. Not just into your business, not just into your career, but creating a lifestyle change that will work, and you know, you'll be able to see a transition kind of like within like a couple days, like just from taking the time to listen and implement and holding yourself accountable. A lot of times that transition and that transformation happens when you're held accountable to something. And oftentimes we don't mind doing the work if we like the person that we're working with or working for. So I think that's one of the things that Meredith will bring to the table.
Yeah, we got a question. And Kelly is watching. Hey, Kelly Marie. She is watching from Oolaga, Oklahoma.
Ooh,
What?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. I'm excited.
Hi, Kelly. Please send us a question. We're talking money, so if you have some money questions, we want to service you. We want to be of service to you.
Yes.
Meredith, Disha asked, will you be speaking about finances at Vision 2020?
Yes, I always speak about finances. A part of what we're going to be talking about is what is your vision? That includes how much money do you need to make to be able to make that vision come true. I so often have clients that will say, like, I want to take 4 vacations a year, but you ain't even priced out how much a vacation is. So how we know? So we get really specific, and I'm super excited because Angel, I don't know if you know this, but I did the math because, like you said, I'm trying to be a better planner. I appreciate that you think that I'm already there. But my session is before lunch, and lunch is on your own. So we have a special guest speaker, and we're going to have like a whole post workshop session where we can go even deeper into where might you be getting stuck with these financial goals and how does your wellness fit into all of this. So
So are you
I
telling
am
people
really.
to bring a bag lunch?
You said what?
Are you telling
Something
people
you
to bring
said
a
really.
bag lunch?
Oh, I'm going to be scoping out. I'm super excited about this retreat. I'm going to be down there scoping out places. No, I'm hoping there's somewhere delicious that we can get by the pool.
Oh, yeah. No, that's good.
It looks very fancy on the internet. I mean, first of all, Angel doesn't do not fantastic. As somebody who's known you, what, 20 years?
Yeah.
Since we was rolling around, and I was in your Mercedes, people was thinking I was somebody in the like, ooh, that's when I got confident. Like, oh, I'm with her.
Did you really have to throw out there the kind of car I was driving in college?
Did I? That's it.
Lord.
Nice car.
Kelly, do you have a question? Let's go to Kelly. All right. So, no, that's good. So, thank you for your question, Disha. Meredith.
So I look forward to seeing you there, Disha.
Yes. All right. So, those are some of the elements that I believe you will gain in working with Meredith. And she does executive coaching, and just like, again, like she has a program that's specific to getting unstuck as well, where you'll learn the tribe methodology and you'll be able to implement it and just watch how your life change. So, yes, that's her program.
That. Yeah. Well, I feel like that's why it's so complimentary because I really do think that my person that I meet is more at the point of getting clarity and taking action. Where I think, Angel, where you come in is so often, even for myself going into business, we don't have the role models. We don't have somebody in our house. We don't have access to the information to feel really confident that we can go into business. We can set prices where we are profitable, that we do know how to build networks, that we know how to target our market so that we're not wasting money or wasting our time talking to the wrong person. And so what I love about what you do is that it's really easy and it's something that you can go along and do, like you said, even in that transition, even when you're just trying to figure out, is this really something? I think the other thing that's so awesome is that there is the retreat so that it's more than just a book. You really do offer a community. And I know I have enjoyed and met people that I look forward to working with. I look forward to speaking alongside. But there are also people, I mean, I think the thing that you bring, well, maybe we both bring it, but all of your people are just so committed to really uplifting and teaching others what they know. Like, I think you really do a great job of giving people confidence about what they do have to teach. And even for myself, like I just said with the financial piece, I mean, so if we can pause for a minute with your amethyst, but I mean, amethyst is a godly stone. You have an ability to help people see a gift they might be overlooking. And that could be that thing that you're operating like a side hustle. But if you paid the attention to it, like a main hustle, that baby could perform and your life could be better than you think it could be today.
Right.
So very inspirational would be my thing. I mean, Angel, you can't be around Angel. First of all, the girl's name is Angel. Hello. So you can't really be around her without thinking that you're going to do better with your life. Like, I've tried that. Don't work. Hey, I saw Kelly said I worked with Meredith once. Shut Kelly. First of all, the story of me and Kelly, so it does connect to finance. Can I tell you the story?
Yes.
So Kelly and I worked together because the year between graduating from Howard and starting my financial job, Many people now would do what, Angel? You have 3 months off. What would they go do?
Waitress.
Okay, well, that's one thing, Detroit. Or,
I mean, I've never done it, but
or they go travel, right?
oh
Like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the Instagram thing.
yeah.
They go backpacking, whatever. I went to go work at a summer camp with kids in northern Minnesota. I know.
Oh, you saw my
But it was
face.
the highest paying summer job.
No, working with kids is always very
Trying.
Yeah. Well, that
Right.
too.
Yeah, it helped me understand at a young age that that is not what I wanted to do. And so Kelly was there for one of my first career transitions when I was like, this is what I don't do. So we actually got pulled over by the police once because I was driving the van full of kids too slow. And the officer, we're in the northern winds of Minnesota. I was not in a hurry. Like, where are we going? And he said, do you know what the speed limit is? And I said, no, but my dad said you can never go too slow when you're driving around young kids. So that's how I know Kelly. She was my golf instructor. But can I also say, though, that really came in handy? Just as a shout out to Kelly, she's like a PGA level golf coach. And as terrible as I was, what she taught me was really useful because when I got into finance, Angel, seriously, most of my meetings were golf. You know, so at least I had the confidence. I knew the lingo. I could like pretty much fake it and just say I was having a bad day. But yeah, thank you, Kelly.
Now, if you guys have any questions, please, please, please send them our way. We are going to be wrapping up probably in about the next 15 minutes. So now is the time to ask your financial question. I do want to move the conversation along to creating your financial projections. Actually, before I go into the financial projections, Meredith, you did some kindergarten graphics on your construction paper.
I know you did not just call my stuff kindergarten graphics. As somebody who has a kindergartner, I'm going to stop laughing and say, thank you, because he's a good artist. Okay. I love my baby. Yes, I did write things down.
Share with us your artwork, please.
I'm not with you. I can't. I don't even want to show it anymore.
It looks good, Meredith. Go ahead.
No, it wasn't.
But you got to turn off. You got to turn off your blur.
You already said it's blurry.
Listen.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, you have to turn off the blur.
I cannot work with my friends.
There you go.
Is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so done with you.
Oh, look, QuickBooks is up there. We talked about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So things to think about. Yeah, I mean, you've kind of already covered it, right? So you want to think about QuickBooks. I personally, one of the things a lot of people miss is tracking your time. So to your point about side hustle, main hustle, getting really clear about what your time is worth and then tracking it. So you're charging people. I like Harvest because it can even invoice for you. And then Square, PayPal, how are people going to pay you? Like at the very least, when you start talking about money and what you're going to look for, those are accounts you should be looking at, where your sales and your revenue is coming in. We talked about an accountant and we talked about your state business website. So before you invest in an accountant, before you start figuring out what it is you need to do, look at your state information. And then the question was just, are you making a profit? Now that you've talked about my graphics, Angel, I'm not as excited about them.
It looks great. I'm serious.
Next time I'll draw clouds and stuff.
No.
But just things to remember, you want to have more sales than losses. Yeah, you want to bring in more profit than expenses. And if you're not, then you want to figure out how can you optimize that? How can you lower your costs so that you can be more profitable? So you have more left over once you pay for those expenses. That's all, Angel. Over to you. I would like for people to comment if they like my graphics. Otherwise...
Well, you do have some love coming in from Kelly again. Kelly said that Meredith is a fearless leader. I'd let her lead me anywhere as long as it doesn't involve the northern Minnesota woods. But she's a very safe van driver.
Thank you. I left Kelly alone with a ghost once. So, yeah,
Lord.
I know. The stories we will tell at the retreat.
Lord.
Only at the retreat.
All right. So let's dive into your sales projections. So this is for our business professionals. When you are looking at your business projections, it's essentially that. Like, how much money do you want to make, and what is it going to take you to get there? So, I guess maybe 2 weeks ago, Meredith and I were having a conversation, and we said that we were going to be accountability partners, and within the next 18 months, we are going to make at least $1 million. Well, I think we said, did we say $1 million or did we say someone?
We said $1 million. Yes,
Okay.
we said $1 million. Okay. And I got a comment from my graphics.
Yes, I saw. Let me share it with the world so everybody else can see. It says, "I love your graphics, Meredith Moore Crosby."
Yes, she does. I'm gonna bring him to Bahamas now. It only takes one, but yes, we talk projections. How much money you want to make?
Yes. So, if we know that you are, let's see, what's a business? Kelly, what kind of business do you have? Or does Kelly have a business?
Golf business.
Okay, so let's say that your sessions cost $250 a session. Oof. And you know that, and that's for an hour. I think that's good. Is that not good? That's too high?
No, that's good. Yeah, Kelly, you're worth $250, baby.
Or is it more, Kelly? I don't want to be doing the service.
We're just gonna, I think it's a good number, $250.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say that you have your client start at $250 an hour. Mm-hmm. You create some packages, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's 12 sessions for I don't know, $5,000. I don't know. I really didn't do the math. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay, so if you know that you have 12 session packages, you have the individual packages, you have group classes, so you create an environment where people have a variety of options. Kelly said that's good. That's real good.
Right. Yeah, she rolled over. I love you, Kelly. She's like, thank you for $250. Right.
So then now you create packages. So you have your individual packages. Mm-hmm. You have like your one-offs. You have your group trainings. Yes, Meredith.
So when you say your one-off, so like in Kelly's example, that would be like maybe your starter. So I just go get one lesson to see if I like to work with.
Exactly.
Okay.
Do we work well together, right?
Yeah.
So you have these different package options. Then from having your package options, you go back, right? Mm-hmm. And if your amount of money that you want to make by the end of the year is at $1 million, then you say, okay, I'm going to need to acquire 50 group sessions. I'm going to need 75 sessions at the $5,000 rate, and I'm going to need to bring in XYZ amount of people, whether it's a discounted one session, and then you have to figure out what your conversion rate is. If you bring in so many people, what's your conversion rate to actually having that person as a client? Is it 10 people? So if you do 10 free trials, you know that you're going to bring in at least $5,000 at the end of that. So figuring out exactly where your threshold is so you know how to make sure that you're bringing in enough leads so that you can meet your annual goal of that $1 million. Yeah. And so it's really working backwards. So, and it's fluctuating. So every month, if your goal is 50 by the end of the year or 75 by the end of the year, divide that by 12. How many of these do you need to hit on a monthly basis? From a monthly basis, how many of these do I need to hit on a weekly basis? From a weekly basis, how many people do I need to reach out to on a daily basis? And then that way you're able to lay the blueprint for saying, this is what I need to accomplish today to make sure that I hit my goal for the end of the week, for the end of the month, and for the end of the year. Mm-hmm. So really take the time to figure out what your financial projections are. It sounds real good, me sitting here saying it. I ain't gonna lie, I need to do a better job for myself. Because I think that as you grow your business and as you modify your business, you also have to modify what those financial projections are. And I can say that right now, I'm in a space of doing some alterations to the work that is being done for the various companies. So even myself, like, I'm not telling you guys things that I don't do. I'm telling you things that you have to do if you want to be successful in reaching your goal. And if you test this out now, we're still early in the year. We're only in February. You still have time to meet your annual goals. Don't just say, oh, I want to make $1 million, but you don't have a blueprint to get there. Don't tell me you want to make $250,000 and you haven't taken the time to outline what do I need to do What are the sales projections that I need to ensure that I'm making to get me from A to B?
Mm-hmm. And if I can add to that, how much time is it going to take? And do I want to put in that much time?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's one thing, I think when we talked about a million, then I know I've gone back to my projections to be like, okay, well, you went through the different tiers, right? So to go back to what I was saying about profitability, right? A part of that is usually on the lower tier, not as profitable. I'm getting you in, right? And it's a chance for me to even see, do I want to work with you? Maybe I'm validating that product, so it's something new. But as you get people into the more profitable, the ones where you're going to be making more of a premium, they're also getting a greater experience, all of these other things. Being clear about one, how you're negotiating your worth, two, how much time it's going to take to scale that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're going to say that you're going to make $1 million, you're likely going to need more than one client.
Mm-hmm.
So to your point about systems, that's where I see people get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, so either I don't have any confidence and so I don't even try, or I get super confident and I think, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to take all these people out and I'm going to be the next Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
God bless you. But you have to have these things set up in a way with people that you trust so that as you make more money, you're comfortable to continue this conversation about how are you going to retain that wealth? How are you going to grow that wealth?
Mm-hmm.
And how are you going to enjoy it? Like, what are you doing so that you're not working all the time?
Yeah.
I know I don't want to do that. That's not my thing.
No, and one of the things that I encourage people to do, I think sometimes we get stuck in what society tells us
Mm-hmm.
should be these categories of the business that we do. And so I know I use the example of like being like, sessions with golf lessons, right? But take it a step further. Be creative with it.
Mm-hmm.
Do golf parties, where, hey,
Ooh.
create an experience for people to be able to come out and learn from a PGA specialist. Or, I'm sorry, Kelly, I don't know what you call yourself. But think of
No, that's the
different
thing.
things
Yeah.
outside of what everybody else is doing. That is what's going to set you apart and make you the value add. That's where you become more than just an instructor, but now people are building relationships with you. And when people
Yeah.
build relationships with you, they're going to send more people and they're going to keep coming back. Because there's a
Yes.
level of, like they become, what's the word that I'm looking for?
Attached? Attracted?
Yeah, they become loyal customers.
Yeah.
They're loyal to you now because now you're friends. Now they know you, right? And they're going to tell
And you've
other
proven
people
your value.
Exactly.
Mhm.
They're going to tell other people about you.
Yeah.
So now you have your party packages. Now you have classes that are not just outside, but you have indoor classes, right? Where maybe you're
Ooh.
utilizing a simulator, or
Kelly said that's a good idea. Angel out here giving free business consulting.
I know
Watch Kelly be the next
see,
millionaire in Oklahoma.
this is the stuff that I love doing. Like it's
Yes.
stuff like
Do me
this. Like,
next.
yo,
Do me
like
next.
you tell me what you do. I'm gonna tell you how to make $1 million with it. Okay.
I love it. See, that's why people need to, if I can put a shameless plug, and that's why everybody should tune into office hours. Because had you been here to ask your question, like Kelly, you too could now know your pathway to $1 million this year, doing what you love.
Yeah.
I love that. Golf parties, that makes total. I could sell that to like women's networks now. Kelly,
Yes.
call your local company, tell their women's network you want to help them build their network and teach them a marketable skill.
Yes.
Girl, bye.
Girl,
You should
and
hire us, Kelly.
you could have retreats set up for business
Yes.
professionals. Like instead of them going to a conference center to hold their
Yeah.
leadership trainings, get them out on the golf course. Teach them golf course etiquette. Teach them how to hold conversations with business people where they can do business on the golf course, especially for women.
Yes.
Girl.
Kelly, if you don't do it, I might. And I'm not that good at golf. So that just shows you how ambitious I am, Kelly. I'll figure it out. But no, I do think, Angel, I think that is the magic, right? Like, I want to recognize, cheers, whatever this fourth, I thought it was 4.
No.
5 shows.
This is like
We
the
started
second
January
week.
14th.
Yeah, this is like 5.
So cheers to 5.
Salute.
Salute. But yeah, I think another plug for, I just always feel like we have to go back to our purpose, because I think we're two very purposeful people. And the purpose is that we both do this and people pay us an awful lot of money, but we both are committed not only to our clients, but also to our community. And so this was an opportunity to come on and ask questions and be able to get this type of free consulting to at least be able to make the right decision so that you're not wasting time and you know the resources that you have that really do care about you and want to see you succeed. So if I can put in a little plug, if you are stuck on your finances, I do include that in my free 7-day Getting Unstuck challenge. If you go to gettingunstuckguide.com and sign up for my mailing list, you'll not only receive notifications when we do office hours, but you'll also get my 30-day financial refresh. So it really does walk you through day by day in 30 days what you need to do to get a handle on your finances and feel better about them.
Yeah.
So that's my shameless plug.
No, it's not shameless. It's to help people. So yes, that is our show for today. If you have any questions at this point, you can feel free to leave them in the comments and we will address them next week. Next week, I have to figure out where I am because I will be headed to the Bahamas for the retreat next week. So yes, we hope that this has proved to be beneficial to you and that you are walking away with greater insight around financials, your financial projections, and just your overall relationship with your money, right?
Yeah.
So, Meredith, any last minute words?
No, will we be doing an episode from the beach and can they still register?
Yes.
Are there hotels available? What do we need to know if people still want to come?
Yeah, so if you still want to come, you can still register. You can learn more at wbbtalk.com/registration. Our hotel block is closed, but there are still rooms available. So feel free to check out the hotel. We will be staying at the Grand Hyatt at Baha Mar Resort and Convention Center. Again, the retreat begins February 20th through technically 22nd is like our last day of session. But I wanted to also provide people an opportunity to just enjoy and just be. Because a lot of times we're going, and we don't get a chance to just rejuvenate and get ourselves ready for what it is that we really want to execute throughout the year. So I encourage you all to check it out, learn more. Again, it's wbbtalk.com/registration. Myself will be there as well as Miss Meredith Moore Crosby. And yeah, we're going to be talking finances. We're talking perseverance. We're talking communications, marketing, all things related to helping you propel not only in business, but also personally. So join us, check us out. We would love to have you. Otherwise, that is our show for today. If you want to learn more information about Side Hustle to Main Hustle, you can visit my website, angelandlivas.com. More information about Getting Unstuck. You can also visit
gettingunstuckguide.com.
gettingunstuckguide.com. And don't forget that there is a freebie available by going to our subscription of the newsletter, which is the link is available below.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. We thank you for spending this last hour with us, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Until next time, be blessed.